Cool. Welcome to our 4th annual Failure Showcase. The Honors College is really happy to present this information to you all. The reason that we do this showcase is to help everybody understand that you do not need to be perfect. A B is not the end of your world, and there are going to be a lot of times in your life where things don't go according to plan. So it is not about the fact that we have failed. It's about the fact that we are resilient and we can pick ourselves up and move on from that. So let me start by just asking the group, how many of you have ever tried something or attempted something and weren't successful? Right? Everybody. But if I ask the question, how many of you have failed? Right? I mean, a lot of people are putting their hands up now, but if I started with that question, it'd be like, maybe, I don't know. And so the whole point is to try to debunk the word failure. Because failure, according to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, is attempting something and not being successful. And we've all done that, right? We've all just proven that we've done that because everybody agreed that you have been in that situation. But when we start to label it, or when we have the word failure attached to that, we start then to think maybe something's wrong with us. Maybe we didn't do something right. But that's not the brain thoughts that are going to allow you to be resilient, allow you to pick yourself up and just start over again. Henry Ford has a really great quote that I love, and it's that failure is merely an opportunity to begin again, more educated. And what's wrong with that? Nothing is wrong with that. We want to make sure that everybody approaches life with that kind of mentality, that we all are ready to accept and to try. And it's quite possible that when you are listening to our speakers today, you're going to hear stories about how they have failed, and maybe that failure allowed them to pivot to something else that was more wonderful than they never even thought was a possibility. And so sometimes, you know, the whole when a door closes, a window opens, or, you know, however you want to look at it, it's really about being resilient and allowing us to accept the fact things didn't go right, and allowing us to start again with grace, to forgive yourself, to give yourself the grace to be able to do that. Because there are a lot of situations that are tied to a fear of failure, imposter syndrome. How many are familiar with the term imposter syndrome? Right? And that's kind of feeling like, oh, maybe I don't belong here. Even though you are highly successful. Most of everybody in this room is related to honors or an honors program in some way, and that is a selective process. You are here because the university selected you to be here. So you are worthy of being here. So the idea of not living up to people's expectations, or not feeling like you're an imposter, that is not something that needs to be in anybody's head who is in this room, because you were selected to be here. And so that's part of what we're going to learn about, because when we allow these kind of thoughts to embed themselves in our head, then it makes it more difficult for us to be able to get ourselves up and brush ourselves off and try again. But you are all worthy of being here, and we're going to hear how some of our presenters have dealt with that, and then at the end, we will have an opportunity to do a big question and answer session with the whole entire panel. So what I will do is start by introducing everybody first, and then we'll just have the speakers go one right after the other, and then at the end we'll do the Q&A, and after the Q&A. If you are in UHP and needing the validation code, that's when you will get that. Okay? All right, so any questions before we begin? Awesome. Okay, so we are going to hear from 5 speakers today. We had planned to have 6, but one of them had a last-minute schedule change at work, and so was unable to be here, but we're going to work with her to have a special event, kind of as a follow-up to this event. Okay, so we're going to begin with Dr. Jennifer Troyer, who is our provost here at the university. Then we will hear from Dr. Jose Gamez. It is a failure showcase, so I'm leading by example. He is our interim dean for the College of Arts and Architecture, but he was recently named dean starting July 1st, so congratulations. Then we will hear from Mr. Chris Hart, who is the co-founder and co-CEO of Vectari. He also serves on our advisory board for the Honors College. Then we will hear from Ms. Stacy Tillman, who is an alum of UNC Charlotte and is also the Senior Business Program Manager in HR at Lowe's Corporation. And then we will hear from Dr. Malcolm Butler, who is a professor and dean of the Cato College of Education. Excuse me. Then the person who was unable to be here, Ms. Frenchie Brown, is the Senior VP for Anti-Money Laundering Engagement Management with Bank of America. So unfortunately, we won't hear from her today, but stay tuned because we will have a separate event with her about imposter syndrome. So that'll give you an opportunity to connect with her. Okay, so without any further ado, we will start with Provost Troyer.